Welcome to the second round, where apparently Game 6s are probably going to be significantly more exciting than Game 7s. Just gonna put that out there. All these Game 6s were incredibly tight and incredibly, just intense. My heart exploded watching every single one of these. I cannot handle playoff hockey, and the Flyers aren't even in it anymore. So we're just going to start with the Stars Blues, which is the team that I'm most attached to in these playoffs. Game 6 was absolutely nuts. The Stars went up 3-0, and then the Blues brought it back to 3-2. I feel like having a 1-goal differential right at the end of the game is significantly more I can't breathe than if it were tied. I could not breathe the entire time the Blues goalie was out of the net. I just could not. I was I was having a stroke. I was having a stroke. But the Stars were able to hold them off, and that game ended 3-2, pushing Game 7, which is tonight. And then we can move on to the Preds Sharks game, where that game was also nuts. It was tied at 2 after 2, and then the Sharks scored, Logan Couture scored, maybe halfway through the third, and then I started being tense and being panicky. But then not long after that goal, it wasn't the Preds tied it up at the very end of the period. They tied it with maybe 8-7 minutes left, somewhere in there. So they did tie it with a decent amount of time left. And then it went to OT, and then I lost my mind. The Preds did win it in OT by a guy whose name I can't pronounce. What was important was that it was his first playoff goal. And it was this ridiculous backhand got over whatever the Sharks goalie's shoulder. It was such a pretty goal from a guy who hadn't had a playoff goal yet. It was his first ever playoff goal. And when you look it up, which I had to do because I wanted to see what the guy's name was, which I already don't remember, but Pecorine got the second assist. I'm just so wee! I'm obsessed with him. But yes, Preds won that game, pushed Game 7. I have this sad feeling that Game 7, both of these Game 7s aren't going to be as exciting as Game 6s. They're not going to be as close. They're not going to be as intense. There's going to be one team that comes out predominantly and just sweeps into the floor, and I don't think it's going to be some big blowout. But I think it's gonna end up being either a 4-2 or a 3-1 or something like that game. So now we move on to the Caps-Penguins game that was last night. That game was absolutely just over the top. Over the top. I came into this game prepared. I put on a Caps jersey. I stole one of my brother's Caps jerseys. It's an Ovi jersey. I put it on. So I was all decked out in the Caps gear. And I was so 100% ready for this game. Then the Penguins went up 3-0. The refs were playing significant favorites to the Penguins. I don't understand why the league likes the Penguins so much. And I swear to God, they have to pay the refs more to play favorites towards the Penguins. Because it happens every single game. Every single game. But then with maybe 2 minutes, minute and a half left in the second period, I go and take off the jersey because I was just I can't do this. My brain was going, I'm probably jinxing them because I've never worn a Caps thing while watching a Caps game. So the back of my mind's going, I'm jinxing them, take off the jersey. And then literally 15-20 seconds after I take off the jersey, they get that goal that was right at the end of the second period. I'm this is absolutely nuts. Y'all are just sparking my superstition. And the third period went so good. I was standing and screaming the entire time. The refs finally started playing fairly. Or closer to fairly, really. They can't play against the Pens. That's just crazy talk. There was, 3 in a row delay of game calls. But they overlapped. So there was a solid, at least 2 minutes. It had to have been at least 2 minutes, if not more, with the overlap in the 2 times, where the Caps were on a 5-on-3. You know how happy that made me? These were like the first Penguins penalties of the game. And all of this happened all at once. Caps came back, I had a heart attack, and I was incredibly happy. So I was still like having a heart attack. There was a point at the end of that game where I was just like, it was within the last maybe like 30 seconds where it almost went in like 3 different times on Holtby, and I was standing and screaming and just like, I probably destroyed my hair and pulled half of it out of my head, I swear to God. We get into OT, and maybe like a little ways, I have no idea what time it was, I don't watch the time in OT, I had a heart attack instead. But there was this ridiculous save where Holtby was down and out. But here comes Jay Beagle diving across the crease, using his stick to just like deflect the puck right at the goal line. And then it goes like backwards, and he's got his feet in the air so the puck doesn't hit his skate and bounce into the net. How ridiculous! Beagle made this crazy save! I have this thing where I talk about the hockey gods a lot. And you have to be very, very specific with the hockey gods. You can't just say things like, we need a goal right now, because they don't know who we is. You can't say things like, I wish OT would end because I want to go to bed, because then they will end OT, just not the way that you want. But when in this little like scrum where Pekka, where Holtby was like down and out in this OT, I was like, oh dear God, please help my Holtby. Please just fix this problem. And the hockey gods listened. They sent me Jay Beagle. Thank you, hockey gods. You be specific, you get answers. And then, I don't know how much longer it was, but then Nick Bonino scored and the game was over and the Pens moved on to the third round. And the Caps are now out and my bracket is screwed. I would like to introduce you to my notebook, where I write my little like facts that I don't really look at. I just kind of write them to like get them in my mind before I start talking. And so here we are. Blue, Stars, Blues, Preds, Sharks, talked about all that. We flip over to the other side. Caps, Pens were all of these notes. Look at all this. I talked about all of this, I did. And then right down here, one little line says Lightning win 4-0 in Game 5 to move, or it says to advance. So to move on to the third round. They get one line. The Lightning won that last game 4-0 and won the series in 5. I mean, I wanted the Lightning to win. I wanted them to advance to the third round. Now I want them to beat the shit out of the Penguins, that's for sure. So let's go to the board.
Okay, so here we go. This series sucks. And this series is just meh. I mean, I want them to win, but whatever. So this series good, this series sucks. They're going on to, I wonder if they'll do the thing again, where they like overlap series. Would they start round 3 before these games are over? Would they put the first game of this on the same day as this? That would be crazy. That's just not, that's just tomorrow. They wouldn't do that. I don't think they'd do that, no. It's too quick of a turnaround. So, here we go. Here's hoping that the Lightning just completely destroy the Penguins in round 3. That'd be great. And both of these have 6 games done. Tied at 3. Going to game 7. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. So,
there's that. We covered everything. It was a good time. Give this video a thumbs up, a like, whatever it's called. Subscribe to see what else is coming up. And I will see you after game 7s, where I will be dead. I'm already dead, but I will be significantly more dead. But there was this ridiculous goal, or ridiculous save, not a goal, the game would have been over. Because I wanted to rock the red, even though it was a white jersey. They were away. I was wearing the same jersey as them. I looked at Ovi and was like, I got that same exact jersey on, bro. Honestly.